Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I'm with host this afternoon, Michael, followed by other host, Kat.
Hello.
And, well, you did see the My Hero movie. We don't need to talk specifics, but you did see it. So
Yep.
We could at least start with that, I guess, in terms of what you
just
thought.
said not specific.
Well,
So,
yeah, I
like,
know.
what
Well,
am I supposed to say?
Not like we don't do an anime club for 20 minutes where you don't talk specifics.
Yeah, but you didn't see it.
I know,
So,
I'm
like,
just
20
saying, like-
minutes is usually like
I'm just...
team basis, like
If,
talking.
yeah, but if you thought it was good, if you thought the animation was nice, if you thought the story was
Yeah.
interesting...
I liked it. I thought it was good. The one thing that sucked was I thought that the like band of villains had very interesting quirks. So it kind of sucks that they're all like one off, see it, never. Like
Gotcha.
they're just like gone because they were all interesting and
Right.
it's like never to be used again. Bye bye. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So like that kind of sucks because you know, they felt very I don't
Fleshed out, interesting.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if yeah, I mean, I guess I would say they were fleshed out. They were like thought about. I don't know if I would say that they're brand new concepts because
Right.
they're not. But they're different as in like they're not other people that you see. Like it's not like a quirk that you're seeing someone else have and
Right.
then like, you know, and
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, well they have some form of that too." Like
Is like them being villains based on their quirks, or is it just they just villains and their quirks?
they're
Are
a family. Like they're like a mob family.
cool? Oh, okay.
And then they just use their
So
quirks
kind of like
to
a
be
overhauls
villains.
thing, the Yakuza,
Yeah.
right? They were the Yakuza.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know if they officially said that.
I don't remember.
They might have.
I thought they did. But
They
I don't
might have
remember.
said that they were the Yakuza, but they definitely were like something like that if they did not just straight up say it.
Are you caught up on the show?
Yeah, I
Is-
finished.
Okay, so season 7's over, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't finish, right? Like there's one more season after this.
Yes.
Weirdly, because I'm
It
pretty
said
sure.
to be continued
I'm
right
pretty-
at the
where
end.
where did it end?
So I'm
Spoilers.
actually yeah. So I'm actually only caught up because I had to watch Sub because I just wanted to finish. So I watched
Right.
2 episodes of Sub because I was like, I'm just finishing that. I was like, I don't want to wait for
He
the
was
dub.
a Yakuza.
It was.
Yeah.
They officially like said
Yeah,
that. Okay. It ended. Fuck. What did it end with? What happens in that last episode? Oh shit! What happened in the last episode? Because I watched it a couple weeks ago. What happened?
Like, I have to assume that Deku and fucking what's his face or Shigaraki are still fighting.
That happens like mid, like it's like mid in the show that they're happening.
What? Oh wait, then what? What does it end with then?
I'm trying. Actually, wait. I'm just.
That
gonna
doesn't
go,
make any
I'm
sense.
Just gonna
They
go
still have
straight
to
up,
have their
I'm just
fight.
gonna go straight up into the episode, and I'm just gonna scrub through, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll just straight up tell you what happens.
It's like,
in it.
I can't imagine that it can't be half the season unless they're. What would they even be focusing on without that? Because I assume they finished all the side fights. Uraraka's thing.
Okay, yeah. So
Todoroki's thing.
yeah, so Uraraka's is the episode before the last episode.
Interesting. Okay.
Because they just dubbed that came out like yesterday or the day before. I think the day before. I think it came out like 2 days ago. So I watched that because I wanted to see how it came out in dub. Very good. So rewatched that.
So that's.
Is this the last episode? Okay, so actually, like half of the episode is. Oh wait. Oh, okay. So half of the episode is still Uraraka and Toga, where Toga is like saving her life,
Right.
and then it's the fight with All Might and All for One.
Oh, in
That's
the,
how
mech-
it ends.
in the
Yes.
mech. Oh, so
yes,
it ends
was-
there.
Yes, that's what it was. I was like, what the fuck am I
Okay.
missing? Like, what did I not see? Yeah, that's how it ends.
I guess there's still a good amount. It's weird
And
that they
then
end it though. Like
That
it's
to be continued
'cause-
classic. That's it.
It's basically part 1 to part 2.
Well, so I didn't even know they were doing it. I thought this was it. They're
No,
pulling
'cause-
an Attack on Titan where they're just like part 1
No, 'cause
ending.
they had always said they were doing, because they were like season 7 started and everyone was like, because the manga wasn't done yet, so they're like, are they just gonna
do it as it comes out.
but that doesn't really work. So then I was like,
Well, that's what I was confused about as
so
well.
everybody was like, I guess they're gonna do another season, but like, how much are they covering? And then so the fact that they stop there, it doesn't feel like there's enough to make well, I mean, I guess it could just be like 12 episodes or something. I don't know. Maybe, or they extend and add some stuff, I guess, because it's mostly just fights that afterwards. Like, it's just.
Because I didn't read, so I don't know. Well, so I keep getting spoiler. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question because we're already talking about spoilers.
Do you want me to answer it?
Yes, I'm asking you a question.
Okay, well,
I want you to answer it because.
Well, you know, Sage sometimes she's like, I'm gonna ask you a question, and she's like, if it's a real spoiler, don't tell me, and then I'll be like, okay.
Oh no, I want you to
Okay.
answer it because today on Reddit, it just straight up just fucking came up. There was no spoiler tag. It was just somebody's post.
Okay.
Straight up a post. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I don't know if I was like in the episode, I just like missed it or I don't. So when Toga is saving Uraka's life, does she die there?
Does Toga die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it happens right then or does she die later?
I don't remember the explicit details.
Okay.
It's been a while because I read that, so that was like
Okay.
months ago.
Because I didn't.
But I know that she's dead.
I didn't realize that like she was dying, and I don't know if like.
I think she dies there. I
Well,
don't think
so the spoiler was like it was just like an image, and it was like somebody holding a book, and it was like, I'm glad that bitch Toga dies. Like, don't let images like gaslight you, like just being like, because she's pretty, like don't let images gaslight
Right.
you, like she was still a fucking villain, like it was something
she was a
along-
mass murderer, but
Yes,
also because of
it was
circumstance.
because she was because she was a murderer and a fucking villain, like
Right.
I'm glad that bitch is dead, like it was something along the lines of that. No spoiler tag, nothing, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was looking through the comments, which I didn't end up seeing anything, but like dangerous game.
Yeah.
But
Again, because especially the manga has been out
yes,
for months.
so I didn't end up seeing anything. So that was lucky. But I was just so pissed that I was just like, how is nobody angry? Like being like that you didn't put a spoiler tag on this, because there's obviously people who haven't caught up to the show or anything like that. Like Ryan hasn't finished the show. So it's like, if he saw that, like, because there's just no tag on it.
Right.
Like it's just it's just straight up their post. Like
Yeah.
that's just the image. Like what the fuck? Like that they just did that. And it's like I watched it and I didn't even realize that she was dead. Like that I mean, you know, she's like losing all the blood and everything and she's giving it, but like that doesn't mean that somebody dies.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure that's where she dies.
I'll have to rewatch it because like I guess I just didn't realize. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just didn't realize.
I mean, I know she is dead, but
Well,
I'm pretty
I
sure
saw
that is where it
from
happens. So
them saying, I'm glad that bitch is dead.
yeah, no. I mean, again, like, I mean, she is a mass murderer, but also like the whole point is that she like kind of
Well,
had that like little
Yes. So I thought,
ember of okay.
yeah. So I thought it was like she was kind of having this redemption moment and like she was going to be alive and like, you know, she was going to be
Well, it's also
redeemed.
like if someone's
kind
like,
of
oh,
like
if
how
they
it
redeem,
seems like Dobby's going to be redeemed.
right?
He's alive. So, you know, like, so
Yeah.
I'm pissed. Like, especially because she was in a like much better place, I feel like, than Dobby is. Because
I think her better place is her sacrificing herself to do the thing.
but her better place, I think, is more her now understanding herself.
Right.
So say she didn't lose all that blood, like to give it to Uraka, and say somehow they both live, they're rushed to a hospital, anything, right? Both live everything and she's okay. She now understands herself and why she wanted to suck blood, and like she has that whole explanation, and everything. Like, she truly understands of why she wanted to do this in the first place. It was a jealousy. It was just wanting to be happy and all of this, and people calling her a monster. So she was like, well, then I'm truly just gonna live my life out as this monster.
Right.
She could have been redeemed. Like, she literally she could have had a better life, you know?
Not everything is happy, Kat.
I know. But, like...
So many people died during this and the last fight.
But, like, versus Dobby, where he's not just gonna have the... Like, he still wants them
it's
dead.
Not like he's not okay.
But he still wants them dead.
It's not like he's okay.
He still wants them dead.
Right.
He still was saying that.
But he's also like a charred corpse.
I know. Well, even though he had like that moment where he's like, there's still things I want to tell them. Like whatever that he fucking said. Like he also still said, I want you dead. Like, fuck you. Like, you know. And
yeah, but also fucking never.
And I know. But he's the one that gets to be, you know, like, I'm just like pissed.
I mean, again, you're saying gets to, but he will be spending the rest of his miserable life in a charred body.
I think they'll fix it. Actually, you read it, so maybe not.
I'm very specifically not being specific, but the last you saw is him spending the rest of his life presumably in a charred body.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not like he's gonna be living a great life.
I guess, but like
his life will just be torture from there on.
I don't know. Do you get to see Compress again?
I think so.
I don't remember if something happened to him.
Again, it's been months. I haven't watched the show because I was like, I finished it.
I
was just waiting for the show to be done.
I have to rewatch season 6 actually, because there were things that like happened in this season. I was like, what the fuck happened? And like the things with like Reed Desher, I was like, what happened? Like, I gotta rewatch season 6. I just like don't remember. I just don't remember things. I'm like,
Reed Desher was like, he was more of a means to an end than an actual person of importance.
I think I found that season just fucking boring, and my brain was like, we don't need that.
Nah, the manga went hard in that season.
Yeah?
Or that arc, yeah. It was so fucking pretty.
Well.
Really, just the art in general, Horikoshi got so fucking phenomenal at drawing anything.
I think the trauma of Twice dying, my brain was like, get rid of it. Get rid of it now. Like.
Yeah, but that needed to happen. That boy was broken. Once he solved his mental block, he became unmanageable. They were like, "Oh, this is just a win-all. Kill him."
I love Twice. He's one of my favorite characters. So
if he was a good guy, he would have been fine.
Could have been redeemed.
No, actually, explicitly no.
Yeah, well.
He very explicitly went, no. He had the opportunity and explicitly said, no, fuck you.
Well, maybe one day.
I think maybe there would have been a possibility, but I don't think Toga would have got to where she was if he was still around. Which means she, like,
correct, because the events wouldn't have happened.
So, because without him dying, Toga would have never got to a point where she might have thought she was wrong. And I think only her being into that mind space of like, maybe I should switch sides would have gotten Twice to think about it.
I don't think.
But even still, I don't think, because Shigaraki is so committed, he wouldn't have changed.
I think that Toga would have had to be the catalyst for Twice to change, but Twice was her catalyst.
It would have never happened without it.
It can't.
So
yes,
it would have never happened.
But
which is great storytelling.
But I want it to. But yeah, because, like, there's just not a way. I mean, I guess there's always a way. Like, you always could just.
Yeah, I mean, he could write it any way he
exactly.
wanted. But he wrote it very specifically the way it happened.
Exactly. There always is a way, but like,
because
not really.
Yeah, and really because, you know, as much as people are like, yeah, you know, I want it to work out, it's boring in a story if everything works out for everybody.
Yeah, well, I just want it to work out for specific people. Not everyone. It's just
some people gotta die, Kat.
But why the ones I like? Those ones. That's the ones I care
What was
about.
it that we were watching when you were like, why do they all? Oh, right, Code Geass.
Yes, it's always the people I like. I always feel attacked. It's just always like
You gotta pick better.
I don't know why. Like I just always seem to pick
awesome.
wrong.
Yeah. You haven't. I mean, we don't need to actually. But have you started fucking goddamn volleyball anime at all yet?
Haikyuu? No.
Yeah, Haikyuu.
No.
Not at all.
Why did someone die in that?
No.
You're just wondering who my best boy would be?
I was just curious if you had one yet.
No.
All right. Well, yeah, because you mentioned you were like, I need to start it, but I was just curious if you had watched any of it.
No, I was at work.
You
So-
multitask sometimes.
I couldn't even get here earlier.
I mean, that's true. I'm just
So-
saying sometimes you multitask. I don't know.
I guess. But
Um,
no, I did not start it.
I'm very very interested to see your thoughts on that show though, because it's just an actual sports anime, not insane like Blue Lock. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I did hear Blue Lock season 2 was terrible apparently.
That's what I want to talk about because my For You page on TikTok is just about the fucking Blue Lock season 2 anime. It's so crazy. Like, I'm going to start sending you, well, actually, do you care? Because it's technically spoilers because it's scenes from the show. So I'll send them to you if you want. If you don't want, then.
Well, I mean, if the animation's bad, I might start reading it.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Like, they're like PowerPoints. Like, it's fucking dog shit. Like,
Curious if there's...
they just keep coming up on my For You page and like just people like memeing on it. Like I cannot believe what they've done to this show because how good it looked in season 1 and then for them to do this where it's literally, I forget the program that they talked about, but people are literally finding the effects that they're using and then being like, this is literally this effect. Like, they're just, like, putting it in. And then they're just, like, it was like an explosion,
Right.
like, effect that they just paste in the anime. There's literally, like, a flip transition. Like, you know how if you just make, like, a dumb video and you put, like, a page turning transition, that's in it, in an anime? Like, what are they doing?
Oh, okay. Apparently the animation company, I don't actually remember if this is the same one as for season 1, but
Is it a guy in his basement?
no, the like anime, like the companies, or the company that was basically hiring it out. Oh, it's Bandai. Okay. Bandai put basically like no time for them to actually work on it.
So they just rushed it and they were just like,
Yeah, so animation. So for the most part, animation companies usually don't actually have a say in their own deadlines. It's the people that are being hired by. And so I'm assuming they went, "Hey, here's our timeline," and they were the only ones that were like, "I guess we'll do it."
it's
So apparently their deadlines
horrible.
were just not possible. So that's what you got to look.
horrible. It's literally like mostly like them not moving. It's like manga panels but colored.
It is the same studio, so yeah,
And then
it's literally just
After Effects.
Yeah,
Like that's what it is.
it's the same studio, so it literally is just they were given no
But-
time to work on it.
This was such a popular show.
Doesn't matter. So was One Punch
I-
Man.
I can't believe that they do that.
So was
though.
One Punch Man. They
I don't
also
know. I don't know what they did to that.
One Punch Man season 2 was also terrible because they gave the second because the like superstar like animator team that worked on season 1 they took so long to greenlight season 2 that they were like, all right, well, we'll work on different projects in the meantime. And then when they went to work on different projects, the company was like, all right, you're greenlit. And they're like, well, we already have different like obligations. They went, all right, lowest bidder. And then fucking is it Production IG? No, it's JC Staff. JC Staff took it, and they were given no time to work on it, and so it looks fucking terrible. So you go from season 1 being like considered like god tier animation to season 2 looking fucking stilted and terrible as shit. And then I think season 3 is Mappa, so we're not sure where that'll go because Mappa could be anywhere really. So yeah, it doesn't matter how high profile a show is.
That's crazy to
People
me.
just want the money, and then they're like, "We'll just make it."
That's insane. Because
It happens quite often.
then no one's gonna like it.
Yeah, they think they can get away with it, and then they don't, and then they're like, "Oh shit."
Oh man, shucks.
Yeah.
Like,
So either people will just drop off, or people will start reading it. Which, I mean, according to Eamon, the manga is fantastic. So he
Yeah.
read
I
like
think Ryan read it. Maybe he didn't read all of it.
yeah, I think Eamon said he like read it all in like a week.
Oh my god.
It might still be coming out. Either he finished it or caught up within like a week.
I want to say it's still coming out, but that could be wrong.
One second. I do not remember.
Um,
But yeah, it really doesn't matter. You know, people make bad business decisions all the time. You could say the same thing with movie studios. Why do they decide to do any of the things they do?
yeah.
Because they think whatever. Like they canceled Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, the Marvel movie. They put Blade on indefinite hiatus,
Oh yeah, I actually did. I did. Know
which is
that.
so fucking hilarious. Because it's a dude that looks cool and kills vampires. That's it. That's the only story you need is Mahershala Ali in a black trench coat and sunglasses murdering vampires on New York streets. And somehow they're like, we can't crack the code of what this story needs to be. We need it to connect to cosmic events. And it's like, guys, what are you doing?
I didn't take a picture of it, but when I was at Comic-Con, they had a Blade figure. It was beautiful, and it like wasn't that expensive, but it was like 3 feet tall.
It's still coming out.
And I was like, I want it just because it's beautiful, but I was like, but what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, just a centerpiece. It was just like a Blade. There's just like.
It's funny because you don't read comics at all.
I know, but it was just so beautiful.
Have you even watched the original Blade movies?
No, but it was just beautiful. Then I was just like, the quality on this.
The idea that you would buy a Blade statue and then someone would like walk up and see it and be like, "Oh, you like Blade?"
No.
Nope.
It's just
Never
like,
interacted with the character
I was
once.
just like, but look at that shit. I was like, isn't it nice? No, dude. Okay, so besides the Blade figure, because I didn't take a picture of it, but have you played Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, of course.
Did you play the one with Edward? That's not the one.
No, I know that's Connor, but
Yeah.
yes, Edward's my favorite one. Well, minus Ezio. I mean,
All
Ezio's
right.
fantastic, but
Okay, so
is it the Edward one on the ship?
Yes.
Yeah, that was so this was the collector's one that came with 3. Yeah, I was gonna buy that with 4.
I almost bought it. I've never played this, but I was just like,
Oh wait, no, that's not the collector's one. They were doing special versions of
This shit
everyone
lights-
having like this like effect.
this
stuff on
shit
it.
lights up.
Look up whatever if there's a name tag on that. Look up that, but for Ezio. Ezio's looks awesome. If there's like a company name on that,
Pure Arts.
sure. Look up Pure Arts Ezio statue.
I probably saw it. They had a bunch of Assassin's
It's like
Creed
it's like a
ones.
giant cathedral like stained glass window behind him. It looks so cool.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Edwards, I think, are the best looking, from what I remember.
They sell it at Walmart for $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Edwards was only $600 though, and I was like,
It might be cheaper because it was actually like,
there.
yeah.
I was like, I'm taking this bad boy home. But I was just like,
There was there's like Edwards.
It's
So
nice.
I can never remember because
they didn't have this one there though.
no, because for Edward, I always remember the collector's one also
Is
being
this
him
the
with
guy
a ship
who
mask.
chops
but
off his finger?
Ezio, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically, every assassin from Ezio back always did that.
Not all the figures had their finger.
No.
cut off.
I mean Ezio back. Everybody else is Ezio forward.
Oh.
Minus Altair. Because. So I mean, for the most part, simplifying because I know you don't really much care about Assassin's Creed, but like.
Not that I don't care. I just don't know anything.
Yeah. So the games, at least in release order, went from Assassin's Creed 1, which is the main character is named Altair, Assassin's Creed 2, which started with Ezio, which is during like the Renaissance era, And then 3 is Connor Revolution. 4 is backwards in time, Connor's grandfather, Edward, the one on the ship. He was a pirate during the in the Caribbean. And then onward. So anyway, and then some jump back, but it doesn't matter. Ezio and Altair were basically part of like when the assassins were like a big unit that were everywhere, and they had like old traditions because they're for like super fucking old and ancient. And part of the thing was you cut off your ring finger
So
because
the blade
came
yes.
there, and so
I
then
did
you
get-
could you could
I
keep
got
it
the
hidden.
lore.
Yeah, so you could keep it hidden.
Yeah.
Then in I want to say Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is the sequel to 2. So every game has like an inventor. So of course for Assassin's Creed during Renaissance, it's Leonardo da Vinci. In the second game, you like get a second blade. Maybe the first, I don't fucking remember. Either way, you get a second blade at some point, and he's like, "All right, we got to cut off your finger." And he's like, "All right, well, I mean, I already did this once, I guess." And is that correct? Is Ezio missing a finger? I don't think he is. No. So everyone before Ezio had to do that. They go to cut off his finger when Leonardo was like, oh, because he finds the blueprints for the hidden blade. So Leonardo builds it, and he's like, all right, we got to cut off your ring finger. And Ezio's like,
Because I thought they were all missing
fuck,
a finger.
all right, I guess.
And then we were walking around looking at all the figures, and
Yeah.
I was like, "This one's got a finger," and he's like, "Not all of them are missing the fingers."
Yeah.
So
it's
just like,
it's
sorry.
just Altair. And then so like Leonardo's like, yeah, we got to cut off your finger, and Ezio's like, all right, fuck, I guess. That's how it has to be. And he like goes to do it, and he's like, no, I actually got rid of that. You're fine. You just have to put your hand out instead. And he's like, okay.
Well, because also the one that is missing the finger, the way that, and I don't know if it's just like because of the figure, like the way the blade is, and like because his finger's missing, like the way the blade looks, like it doesn't even like line up with where the
That's
finger's
definitely
like,
the figure then.
well,
It's supposed to be the blade goes out, it would be where the finger is.
It's not so like it's just like the tiniest bit like crooked, and I was just like, you know what? I feel like sometimes if you did do that, it wouldn't like perfect. Like you might like
sure.
stab yourself.
Probably.
I was like, I feel like this isn't even a good idea. Like I was just like,
Well,
this
yeah.
is stupid. Also, people would start to notice that you're missing a finger. Like, this isn't even a good idea.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair,
I was
when
like,
they
this
were
is dumb.
when they were doing that, it was like 12th century. So
And then Ryan was just like, well, the person who then notices that you don't have a finger is dead now. So it
also
doesn't
true.
really matter.
how often are you like looking down and be like, oh,
Yeah, like, so what? I go to stab somebody in the neck and like, oh, you don't have a finger. Oh, dead. Like, it doesn't matter. And I was like, I guess, whatever.
But also, it's funny because, like, basically for the most part, every assassin just does like this, and so then they just impale you instead of doing like that. Because I don't think actually any assassin does like a closed fist thing, even though that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Assassin's Creed's fun for the most part.
I might play the one with Edward.
That's my favorite Assassin's Creed game. So
Well, Ryan's
it's also
coworker
the
just
least
played it.
Assassin's Creed game.
Yes.
Actually, some of the old Odyssey and Valhalla are pretty non-Assassin's Creed feeling games, but everyone always says that 4 is just Pirate Simulator, not Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, but it's so fucking fun to play.
I didn't even know there were so many games.
Yeah, there are.
The
Like
fact
at
that-
least
the fact that
more
you're
than
still,
10.
The fact that you're still counting.
there's more than 10.
Wow.
And then the next one's in like feudal Japan, finally, because the last 3 games were like RPG games, and everyone was like, why are you doing this? You don't need to. Why are you reinventing the wheel this way? We don't want this. Varying levels of people liking them. So the first one was Origins, and then it was Odyssey, and then it was Valhalla. Origins takes place in like peak Egypt, Cleopatra era. It's not peak, I guess, technically, but Cleopatra era. Odyssey is Greece during the Peloponnesian War or something like that. Really fucking far long ago. And then Valhalla is like Vikings moving to England and trying to make a claim to land there. Origins was the first. I didn't play that one. I played Odyssey first. So that was like the next game where they like figured out more of the.
Do you have? You don't have. You can play any, right?
You can play any.
They don't
of the
have
games, really
to do with each other.
The
'Cause they're all
earlier
different
ones
eras?
definitely do because there's still the person behind. So in the
Because
world's
like the grandfather and like things
like
like
in
that.
the world's
well, Edward's
context
the grandfather, right?
for Connor.
Oh.
In the world's context for the first 3, you are a guy named Desmond Miles in the modern day, and there's a machine called the Atmos. Fuck, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. Doesn't matter. Whatever. There's a machine that you like lay down on, and it connects you to your ancestors and sends you into like their body through your memories. And then you like do the things they did. So that's the context of the game. So 1, 2, and 2 sequel, and then the other sequel to 2, and 3 are all about Desmond. And then shit happens. 4 does not have Desmond, but like there's still like a real world thing where you're like going around and doing stuff. So all of them kind of have a real world tie. You can still technically pick them up and do whatever, but there is a through line to the story. And obviously for like Assassin's Creed 2 and its 2 sequels, play those in order. But for the most part, I mean, you could pick and play. It doesn't really matter. I started with Odyssey, which had a bunch of the quality of life updates, and then I went back to Origins and went, God, this game fucking sucks. This game is so annoying to play. Finally beat that, then went to Valhalla and was like, I don't give a shit about this game at all. The story is boring and I don't give a fuck. But it was like a better game, at least in terms of how they built it. It just had more quality of life updates. And then the next one, Mirage, they went back to less RPG style and more original Assassin's Creed, which was like good, but I also still didn't really care about the story. And then Shadows is their next one. So basically, like after the 3 RPGs didn't do super fantastically, they were like, all right, we're gonna change it up. We'll actually go to Japan
Because
everyone's asking for
3
Japan. Yeah.
for them to be like,
Well, because like they wanted to really change their formula because for the most part, every game up till Origins was really just fucking hit X to win. Like you could
love me a fucking
like
mash.
hell, especially in like in 4, 3, and 2s and whatnot, because it's literally just like if somebody wasn't an enemy to you, or like they didn't recognize you because you weren't outwardly being like hunted. You could just walk up to enemies and then be like, double hidden blade kill. And then before the third one would technically register that you just killed his 2 allies, you could do another one and kill him. And then just be like, all right, moving on. So like, it was literally just, you win. Like, it was not hard. The combat was very extremely simple.
Yeah.
And that was just how the game worked forever until the RPG ones, basically. They kind of tried to add more with Syndicate and Unity and whatnot, but they're still pretty simple. And then they did the RPG. They're like, all right, now you actually have to build level and get better items and whatnot. And your cosmetics are tied to what the point is.
In this assassin game, there's nothing about you having to hide or sneak.
I mean, you're supposed to, but really you can just absolutely brute force your way through the game. There's nothing. There's like mission objectives sometimes where it's like you either cannot be spotted or you'll get more points if you
like. Do they have like the little eye above where they
basically
notice you? Like I think Sly Cooper did that.
Yeah, kind of
right?
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But there are missions where it's like you get spotted, you fail, or optional objectives don't get spotted and you get extra points and whatever. But like, you can just brute force the game. There's literally. Like, and as much fun as, like, being stealthy is, it's not the same thing as, like... One of my favorite stealth games ever is Deus Ex Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, which you can also just brute force your way through that game. There's actually there's no preferred way to do it. You can do stealth and combat. You can do, whatever. Like, I fully, went stealth the entire game because I had so much fun with it. Where like I said,
can you just never interact with anyone?
I went through that whole game never being spotted by anything. Like, I mean, I would kill everything, but like I would never be outwardly.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, can you literally never be spotted, never interact? That's what I want to know.
I don't know about that. I did kill all the people. It was just like dragging them into places where no one would see them.
No, like I'm genuinely wondering, can you just, or do you need the things by like killing them?
I don't know. I'm sure there's probably somebody that did it if it's possible. I'm sure that there's probably people that did it. That sounds like a thing that people would be like 100% stealth, no kill
Yeah.
playthrough.
Passive
if
stealth
possible.
mode.
But like I just found stealth in those games to be so much more fun than the actual like real combat that I was like, no, I want to do it this way. Where with Assassin's Creed, like sure, it's fun to be, like fucking stab someone and pull them into a hay bale, and then you're like, whatever, jump out and walk around. But
Nah.
yeah, like it's fine. There's no downside, but really, it's just like sometimes it's more fun to just fucking kill a dude and then run away from other people while they're chasing you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no real like incentive for either. But it's whatever. I don't know. The RPG elements were like fine, I guess, but it does that thing where it's like you can technically free roam the entire game, but these people have the skulls above their head, which means that they are way too strong for you and they will just basically kill you. And you're like, oh yay, limit access to my things I can do because you say I have to. So it's like, great, now I have to go grind out all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I find that boring personally.
That was only for the 3 of them?
Yeah. For all the other games, like, it didn't matter where the fuck you went. You could just do whatever.
I mean, I don't particularly. So is it the kind of thing that they're just in one area and you can go around it, or you genuinely just like can't go over there at all?
No, I mean you can like so.
Like, is it the kind of thing where it's like, did you play Pal World?
Yeah.
Like how you know how
certain
there was,
areas are way more higher level.
Well, no, not even that, but just how there was like a little boss like in there, and you could just avoid the little circle with the boss. Like,
no,
is it like that?
For the most
and
part,
you
it would
could
be
just,
like every enemy is like that little.
Okay,
boss.
well that's what I was wondering. It's like
are even the low tiers are technically still above your level.
So like you can't really go in the area at all.
So I realize that I'm basically usually the only person that does this, at least when I've talked to our friend group about it. But like when I get into games like
unlocking the whole map, I did that.
Yeah, unlock the whole map before I do anything.
Yeah,
always. I will get in the game, and once they go, you're free roam, I go, all right, going and getting all of the fucking whatever the fuck I need to get to see the whole map.
Yeah.
It's how I play every game. And like you go to certain areas and it's like every enemy around here has the fucking skull. So it's just like, all right, now you have to be extra super careful about getting somewhere. It's usually just more annoying. And like, yeah, there's nothing inherently bad about that. I just find it boring, especially because like it's they're higher level than you, but it's actually like even if you do choose to fight them,
they'll automatically just kill you.
If they do get the hit on you, you're probably dead. And if you do try to fight them, you're not doing anywhere near enough damage that you would be able to really kill these people.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Nikke has like a thing in it that if you're, I mean, that's not a free roam game, but they have something in it where if you're under the recommended power level for anything, you're automatically nerfed. And there's like, people have figured out the chart of like how much you're nerfed. And so to progress in the game and like see the plot of the game, you're like not really ever gonna hit that. It takes so long to get to be that level that they're like recommending. So like right now, as far as the game has gone, because I only started playing it in January, like mid-January, and I'm free to play for the most part. I've bought a couple like skins, which does give you a little bit of materials, but like I don't buy, there's like material packs and stuff, and I don't do any of that. They have like, I'm as far as I can be, and I'm on the absolute last boss. Besides, there's hard levels, which obviously that's harder to do. So obviously I'm not as far on that. I'm only like halfway through. But so for the recommended power level of that fight, I think I'm like 70k under what it recommends. So there's no way I can beat it because it nerfs you if you're 100 under it.
Right.
So the fact that I'm 70k under it, like, you just can't. And like, that's not fun because I'm genuinely invested in the story and I just can't beat it. And like, I've just been on it for weeks, and like, if you don't spend any money on the game, the progression of how you can level people in it is months. Like it's so like I don't like stuff like that either, where they like purposely nerf you, where there's just like nothing like, you can do.
See, sometimes I'm okay with that if like it literally is you could still technically win. Well, if you just play really well.
Yes and no. So like Nikke, you can. I've been under the recommended this entire time because obviously like I just haven't been able to hit that.
Right.
And they have like it's called the wall, the 160 wall. You can't pass it until you need 5 Nikkes. You need technically 4 copies of each of them. You just have to summon a lot. So again, you could not spend money, or you could spend money to like get it quicker, and that's the only way to like pass it. And once you pass it, then you can pass the level and you could keep leveling your characters. But until then, everybody is stuck at level 160. So my characters were all under the recommended level until I passed that, and then I was above for a little bit, but then as I progressed, like I was under it. So I was at a deficit for a long time, and because my characters were strong, I could beat it, but there's certain bosses and different things that it's like they purposely do it that you can't. So like this boss, it's just like a fucked up boss. So you just can't do anything to it. Like I have the strongest character in the game, and I watched tutorials on like how to maximize your damage and like the right points to hit, and because you know obviously the boss does different things and whatever, and like I just still can't do it.
There's also another one annoying thing that I'm remembering now, which is like some games where you technically aren't supposed to be able to beat an enemy, but if you manage to do it, it doesn't actually give you any XP.
Really?
Because you're not supposed to win.
What games do that? I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm
trying to think. I want to say one of the RPGs do that, because it's the Assassin's RPGs, because it's like you're not supposed to be able to. It's also a mechanic, at least in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, because it's like if they defeat this enemy, because it's talking to the DM, it's like if they defeat this enemy, you did something wrong, because they shouldn't be able to, so they don't get anything out of it by rules. I mean, you know, you're a shitty DM if you follow that, but technically it's like if they fight like a god and they're like level 4 and they fucking win, like you fucked that up, because if they win and you're doing like XP leveling, they'd now be like level 20. Yeah. So it's like you can't do wrong. That. Yeah. It's just wrong. So it's just like you spend all the time doing it, and it's like you get nothing out of it, and it's just like, cool, all right.
I think I would be crushed if like that happened. Like if it was a game that I didn't know that would happen. That I spend hours, days, like whatever it is, grinding because I just decide like, hey, fuck it. Like
sometimes I do that in those, and I did that in those RPG games because it was just like, fuck it, big guy, let's go. Let's see if I can beat you.
Yeah, and then you get close and you're like, well, now I'm determined to do this. And then afterwards, you just were to get nothing out of it. Or it's like, if the boss respawns or something because you weren't supposed to do it, something like that. Like that.
Well, luckily for them, it's always just wandering random enemies, so they're everywhere. It's just these ones are in an area that is deemed to be higher than you. And it's like, even if you do beat them, usually it's like still not all that much XP to be worth it. Like it's like the same amount of XP as like beating a regular guy. And you're just like, well, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
If I manage to fucking sit here and kick his ass, then I should be able to get something out of it. But then I guess, you know, they would argue like, well, you could just keep doing that and then level up way faster. And then it's like, yeah, but if I take the time to do that,
I should get something more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think it's like funny with like random things that are like game designed like that. Like there's a certain amount people online that are like the yellow, like spray paint looking shit on in games where it's like, here's where you're supposed to climb, and they're like, that's not realistic. Why is it always there? And it's like,
the what?
You ever like any action like adventure game or whatever where like, you know, you have to be walking around and like scale objects. There's usually always something to indicate, hey, like this is the tutorial? Rock you're supposed to grab. No, like always.
In general?
Yeah, just always. I don't really know what games you play, so I don't even know if it would really apply to you.
I don't really play many like open world games. So, like,
I mean, even if they're linear, sometimes they do it because I mean, well, actually, a lot of times they usually always do it. But like, or like you see a box and it like has like a slight like color to it, so you know that it's breakable.
yeah, definitely like the breakable stuff.
It's like people
but, like,
are
the
like
spray paint thing. I'm not sure.
But like it's basically just like people always being like, that's not realistic. Like it's immersion breaking, and
Well,
it's
like,
well, motherfucker, you realize
You're
that
not
these
gonna
people,
know
exactly.
to
It's
do
like
it.
they have play tests for games,
Yeah.
and when they don't do it, they very much see play testers going, where the fuck am I supposed to
Yeah.
go? So clearly they do it because nobody
Yeah.
fucking knows where to go without
Yeah.
them.
No. So I mean, I'm gonna talk shit about this person, but I don't think he'll ever see this. I don't know how he would. But at Anime New York City, me and Ryan, they had like people. I think it was an artist alley, but there was this guy. Like there was a bunch of people who like made their own games and stuff, and me and Ryan were walking around, and Ryan likes to like give them feedback and everything, and he saw one that was for dinosaurs, and so he just likes dinosaurs, and he was like, this one. And I was like, okay, sure. And so he sits down and plays, and he gave the guy like really good feedback. Like he was purposely like trying to break the game and like bug it, and like to give him good feedback, to be like, hey, this is fucked, and like you should do this or you should do that, or this isn't noticeable, or this or that. Like just really good stuff. Like and the guy didn't really care. He's like, this shit's coming out in a month. Like I'm basically like, maybe it was like 2 months, I don't know. The game hasn't come out yet, so I guess it was like 2 months. I think it comes out like next week or something. I'm like, because Ryan's like still stalking it. I'm like, why do you care so much? Like why?
Some people just don't really care.
No, because he was just like, because the guy said he wanted feedback.
Oh.
Like he said, yeah, like tell me anything, like this, that. There was even like a different guy that ended up like.
Okay, that's
coming
different.
over.
I was also thinking Ryan was just going around doing this to people. I was like, that's
no. Like they said, like that
Okay.
they like wanted feedback.
that's a good context, because
Yeah.
otherwise it makes
Oh,
Ryan
sorry.
just kind of seem like, oh wow, all right.
No, I mean any of these people that are there, it's like for playtesting.
Gotcha,
Like
right.
they want like the feedback about it. I mean, obviously it's also, you know, to get their name out and be like,
Right.
hey, buy this when it comes out. But some of them are so early that they don't even have a date of when it is going to come out.
Right.
He did, and it was going to come out soon, but a lot of them don't. And especially at like PAX, there's tons of them that it's like, this shit could come out in 2 years. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It's very early development, because it's anyone can buy a fucking booth and just put their shit there. And, oh, and I think he didn't even have like headphones and shit, so you can't even like hear it, and like, so it's like, you know, like, I don't know, it was just like a mess. And the guy next to him was also like agreeing and being like, oh yeah, no, this is hard, like you can't see this, and like, so they're both playing and like agreeing and saying this about your game, like I don't even remember what it was. And then he's just like, oh, yeah, that's good. Doesn't write anything down. It's like, you're just going to release a shitty-ass fucking game. And it's
Sure.
like, nobody's going to fucking buy it. Like, and also, it was an okay game. Like, it wasn't horrible or anything. But, like, I don't know if it was like $20 or $30. I was like, that's too much for this. Like, it didn't look that good.
Hey,
like,
man, there's a lot of hours made into making a video game.
But
I will never knock someone for going for that.
the state of what the game was,
Right.
that was the problem. Like, I'm not saying he didn't put work into it. Coming up with the idea, making it, of course he did. Like,
Right.
yes, he made that game. He came up with the idea. He did it.
But if he
of
wants
course.
to put it for that, and that, I mean, that's up to them to buy it.
But you have to think about the fact of like getting people to buy it.
I mean, I agree, but also like they won't buy it if they can't afford it.
I know, and it's like, I don't know. Like I don't
know. I with the amount of work that goes into stuff like that, I usually don't question the price. Like, look, maybe it should be cheaper. Who's to say? But like, if he gets sales from it, does it really matter?
I guess, but wouldn't it be better to make it cheaper to get more sales than to get less sales?
What if not
and
a lot
more
of people
expensive?
buy it, and the few people that buy it would have bought it for $20?
I guess that's true. I guess you wouldn't know. It's
Yeah.
not like he asked, hey, what would you pay for this?
Yeah.
But
So
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
When it comes to artists stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Charge whatever you want. I'm sure there's a market for people that will buy it.
I don't know. It was like kind of art style, like Happy Wheels, kind of like model looking things. Like,
Hey man, Happy Wheels brings joy to people still today.
I thought they shut it down.
Did they?
I thought so.
I have no idea. I just assumed it was still going.
I thought they shut
I was
it
like,
down.
that shit's been going on for years. I just
thought they
assumed it
shut-
was still a thing.
I thought they shut it down.
Did they? That'd be wild.
I thought they did. I don't know. It was just like annoying to watch him not care about these like
Yeah.
game.
Still a thing?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I thought it shut down for some reason. These like game breaking things that are like upsetting to players. Like there was this one part where literally one of the enemies just kills you. It just kills you. Like the
Like for a
hit
narrative reason?
the hitbox is like fucked up
Oh.
and it just kills you. Like no fault of your own. You didn't do anything.
Right.
It just fucking kills you. And he's just like, like, it's like, okay, like,
I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he is fixing it though.
I don't, but he didn't write anything down. Like, he's got the best memory
I
in
mean,
the world.
Or he just knows that that's already fucked, or knew those problems prior and was like, I'm already planning on fixing that anyway.
I guess. Maybe he just didn't say it. I guess
Yeah,
that's possible.
I mean-
But, I don't know. He didn't seem like he cared.
Maybe he doesn't. I'm just saying. I don't know. I agree.
If he seemed like he cared and didn't write it down, I wouldn't have cared.
Right.
Right. Like, you know, if he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me, like,
Still-
and didn't write it down,
yeah.
I wouldn't care. Like,
Still
right?
goes back
You
to
don't-
like, hey, if people buy it and they're not satisfied, Steam does give refunds.
True.
So
True. I think you have 3 hours as well.
yeah. So
So that's enough time to be like,
play the game and be like, nah.
I bet you Ryan's gonna get it. It's just to see if he fixed anything. Also, like, the thing is, he had to keep explaining things. Like, he had to keep pointing, being like, oh, go here, go do this, do that. It's like, that's not good, bro. You're not gonna be with the people
Yeah.
when they get the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Game design is insane.
yeah,
Literally,
it's
the
hard.
things that you have to be
It's
that,
hard.
like you think are intuitive until someone's actually playing it.
Yeah, well, that's why it was upsetting that he wasn't taking like what
Yeah.
people were saying.
Again, it goes back to the fucking spray paint on the rocks, and you're like, they're like, this fucking stupid and immersion breaking. It's like, yeah, but you know how many fucking people
wouldn't know.
wouldn't know because they're just like, oh, that's
Exactly.
like every other rock around here.
Yeah,
Like they don't know the thought process
exactly.
of the people making the game.
But that's like, I don't know. That's exactly why it was more upset. And it wasn't even just Ryan. Like, there was another guy like telling him stuff too. And then
It's like like an anime when they make the more detailed thing, and you're like, oh, I wonder what's about to get broken or picked
Yeah.
up or whatever. There's a great bit in what the fuck's it called? Like Happy Punch, whatever. Like it's like this Newgrounds thing where it's just like a joke on anime, and one of the characters disappears, and then like it's like, I wonder where they went. It's a shot of woods, and one tree is more detailed than the other, and you're like, and so the guy goes and like removes the tree, and then they're not there. They're actually behind one of the regular regular background images, and they just pop out, and they're like, oh. But it's like, yeah, you need to make things certain ways because it's
'cause
supposed to be
people-
obvious.
Yeah, people won't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, how will they know?
Yeah,
They won't.
never will.
Like, I don't know. And like, also, there was like these coins things, like collectibles, and Ryan kept finding them. And I'm like, where the fuck are you what are you where? I was like, I literally can't see it. What are you getting? Like, and he's just like, I saw it. Like, and I was like, I don't know how. And even and the guy was even saying like, oh, people didn't get that. And I'm like, okay, I don't think most people are gonna get it then.
People didn't get it again. There's an issue probably.
Yeah, and then I was like, I mean, I guess it's a collectible. They don't
Oh,
really
yeah,
like
so.
need it. Like, But I was like, how are you finding this? And then Ryan said like, oh, well, I was just thinking about like where, when he said there was collectible, like where would I put it? Like, you know, and then
That's
it's
fair.
like here. And then like, and I was like, but I didn't see anything. And it's like,
Yeah, I guess that's fair though.
I was like, I don't know. And
I do
like,
kind of miss collectathon games. I don't know why.
they're just like little like medallion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
things.
saying that game is that. I'm just like, I don't know, like Banjo-Kazooie
Mm.
or like Donkey Kong 64, stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, collectathons are kind of a blight among on society, but also sometimes they're fun. If you make the game fun.
I don't know. I don't usually collect everything.
I don't either. It really needs to be a very fun time for me to like going back to Assassin's Creed 4. I've 100% of that game like 3 times. Maybe 4, I don't remember. I don't know. Something about that game, it's fun to do it, getting all that shit. But then like Assassin's Creed 2, where it's like get all the fucking flowers and you're like fuck, or feathers and you're like fuck that.
I think like the only
No
thing
desire.
I collected everything is like the 101 Dalmatians in Kingdom Hearts.
Mm,
Made sure to get all those. Bring all those
That-
puppies home.
that kind of counts.
Because they're all like sad that they're missing their children. I'm like, well, I gotta go fucking find them. I was like,
Do you get anything out of that? I'm guessing a Keyblade.
I don't remember. I don't think it's a Keyblade, actually.
I never did any
I
of the things that
think-
get you like the ultra Keyblade.
That shit's way too hard.
Yeah, I never bothered.
Yeah, there's like way too many things to do that. Like maybe I'd be able to do it now, but like as a kid, there was no fucking way I was gonna be able to do that because
Yeah.
there's like extra hard secret bosses and shit you need to kill and everything.
Which I think
to
I only did.
do
I
that.
think the only time I did secret bosses was in. I think I did. Was it Cloud or Sephiroth in 2?
There is. I
don't
mean,
remember which
it
one
obviously
it's in
doesn't
too.
exist anymore. But there was a part of my stream where I accidentally found Sephiroth. I didn't even know he existed. I was like, what is this hill over here?
What do you mean it doesn't exist anymore?
Because your streams delete.
Oh, I thought you had
Yeah,
them saved somewhere.
No.
Oh.
And I probably should have like made a channel to like put things on, but I didn't. And like where you walk down and he's just on that like cliff area like by
Yeah.
himself. And
So I guess it's Cloud. No, it's
It's
that's-
Sephiroth.
It's Sephiroth in 2.
yeah, sure. I don't know. Again, I didn't know where he was. I
No,
accidentally
I know.
Like,
I'm asking, were you playing 2 or 3?
two.
Okay, so it's Sephiroth in 2. I couldn't remember which one was in. I think Cloud's in 1. Whatever, it
Isn't he
doesn't
in
matter.
like he's in the Coliseum?
I think I didn't.
Yeah,
ever
I
play
think
one, so-
he's a boss in the Coliseum. Like he's in a cup.
Yeah,
I think
Sephiroth is.
he's just on a cliff. Like he's just hanging
Yeah,
out.
he's just
like
chilling on the purple cliffs.
yeah. So I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, what's down this way? And I'm just like running, and there's his fucking theme song starts playing. I was like, what's over here? And everyone's like, run. I was like, what?
I did
I
beat
was like,
him.
it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And then I instantly fucking died. I think I tried it like 3 times, and I was like, I can't do this. Like,
Yeah, I think I beat him. And who's the secret boss in 3? It's on the battlefield, right after the fact.
Oh, I have no idea. I did try.
Whoever the secret boss in 3 is, I also beat.
And
Like when
do
they're
all
on the
the-
battlefield.
I think I got all the jellies in
I
that.
definitely didn't do that.
I did the jellies.
I don't.
What do you
Kingdom
get-
Hearts is not a game I desire to do collectibles in.
I just enjoy it so much that's like a kind of, because I just enjoy the worlds.
Yeah.
So that's like a kind of thing that I'm just like, la la la, like I can run around. Like
Right.
that's a kind of thing that it's okay. But it depends on how hard it is, because, you know, obviously I can't 100% it because I can't do
Yeah.
a lot of the things because of how hard it is, and I can't block. My stream said that there was no way that I could beat Roxas because I don't block. I proved them wrong. I beat him without blocking.
Who needs a block button? Blocking's for pansies. You could instead of blocking, you just hit them more.
Exactly. And that's what I did.
What the fuck's a block?
It took so long, but I did it. They didn't believe me.
I'm very much a believer in just hit them more. Why block when I could hit more?
Exactly.
Which does not go great in certain games, like anything Souls related.
No.
Anyway, on that note, Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, like, follow. Check out Cat the Moonstar on Twitch. We will see you guys. Well, you have 2 weeks to watch Haikyuu season 1.
In Spanish, specifically.
Find a way to watch it. Do what you will. Watch it in Spanish. You have to. And we will see you guys next week for whatever it is we talk about.
Bye.
Bye.